Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 4, Text 2. Tesham maitreya doshena vishamīkrita cetasam nimlochati ravav asid venunamiva mardanam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. Translation. As by the friction of bamboo's destruction takes place, so also at sunset by the interaction of the faults of intoxication, all their minds became unbalanced and destruction took place. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. When there is need of fire in the forest, by the will of the Supreme, it takes place due to friction among the bamboos. Similarly, the destruction of Yadu were all destroyed by the will of the Lord by the process of self-destruction. Just as there is no possibility of fires occurring deep in the forest due to human effort, so also there was no power in the universe which could vanquish the descendants of Yadu, who were protected by the Lord. The Lord wanted them to be so destroyed, and thus they obeyed His order as indicated by the word Tad Anugnata. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport.
So this is a new chapter. Title of the chapter is Vidura approaches Maitreya. And here what happened towards the end, how the Yadu family destroyed itself, that is being, the description of that is starting. Thereafter, all of them, being permitted by the Brahmanas, partook of remnants of prasadam and also drank liquor made of rice. By drinking, they all became delirious and bereft of knowledge, and they touched the cores of each other's hearts with harsh words. So ultimately, they fought among themselves, and the entire Yadu race was destroyed. So, Prabhupada is explaining here some very wonderful concept of how even without human efforts, usually we think that everything is happening because of our free will. Ultimately, though it is partly a fact that we create the sukha and dukkha, it is partly a fact that we create either prosperity or either by our sinful activities or our pious activities. One should not forget that there is an overall direction by the Supreme Personality of Godhead as to how the world should move. The world is not completely given into the hands of the living entities to take it the direction that they want. To some extent, yes. But overall, milestones are set by the Supreme Lord. So the Supreme Lord is very much, though He is transcendental, He is very much involved in matters of this material world. Just like we say, irrespective of how you use your free will or don't use your free will, the yugas will come and go. Satya Yuga will come, Treta Yuga will come, Dwapara Yuga will come, Kali Yuga will come. It is not that, all the living entities take a decision and they can prolong the one of the yugas. You cannot. Even though all are pious living entities in Satya Yuga, the date comes over, next Yuga starts. So these things are fixed. So in other words, you need to understand that within the larger framework which is decided by the Lord, the human beings in the society have free will. So devotees always understand this, that Krishna is in control of this material world. Though for all practical purposes it looks like God is not in control. Man can do what he wants. Just like Prabhupada talks about, the scientists have have discovered the nuclear weapons, and with the nuclear weapons, the whole world can be destroyed. But Prabhupada says no accident will happen. Only when Krishna decides that will explode. So we have to keep this in mind, that Lord is the proprietor of this world, including this material world where it looks like, that's why people don't recognize God, because God is not seen, and they can do what they want. And it is among human beings. If I break the laws of the land, I'll be punished by the laws of the land, not by laws of God. So this is what is apparent to our senses. God consciousness is not the feature of this material world. This material world is created for the living entities who actually wants a Krishna-free environment. They don't want an environment where they want to serve the Supreme Lord. They want an environment where they are independent. So for those living entities, this material world is created. And in this, just like here, this verse is talking about how by the arrangement of the Lord, the Yadu dynasty engaged in self-destruction. Just like today morning's quote of Prabhupada we were reading, by the will of providence. The word used was Daiva Karana? Daiva Karana. The will of providence. So many things happen by the will of providence also, even among the devotees. By will of providence it happens. Will of providence means he has a higher purpose. It will happen. So human beings are not the only people who decide things. And whenever something happens to the devotee, as far as devotees are concerned, as against the karmis, whatever happens, the devotee takes it as a mercy of the Lord. He doesn't see that the Lord's hand is not, there's no Lord's hand is not there in the material world. The material world, Kala is the Lord's hands for every living entity. Kala is moving everything. The people may think I am free, but they are not free not to grow old. They are not free. They have to go through the process of birth, death, old age and disease. Everybody. Just because science has improved, they cannot say that now I am not going to grow old. So these things are, Kala is a plenary portion of the Paramatma, impersonal plenary portion of Paramatma. Why it's called impersonal? Because it just sees the law, and just like if you see a judge is sitting in the court, he doesn't, without fear or favor, he will see the law and he will pass judgment. Isn't it? So similarly, Kala is like that. Kala does not see, you have done so many good things, so I will pardon you. No, Kala does not use. If good things are there, good things benefit will come. Bad things are there, bad things benefit will come. You have to have mixture of all these things in our life. But it's only when it comes to a devotee, the super soul, the Paramatma, he is like the king. King can pardon. Judge cannot pardon, isn't it? Judge's duty is to give a verdict, and the three modes of material nature will simply carry it out. Kala will decide, because Kala is seeing our past, present, future, what we have done, everything. Kala has a record of all that. So Kala decides our future, and according to that decision, the three modes of material nature will activate life. Prakrite kriyamanani, gune karmani sarvasha. Everything in the material world is happening. Gunakala karma. That's why I said that everything in the material world is governed by guna, kala, karma. So kala is a representative of Krishna. So devotees know that Krishna is in control. There is no need for Krishna to personally involve in people who are not interested in him. So he sits silently as Upadrishta and Hanumanta in the heart of all the living entities. But when it comes to the devotees, he is Upadrishta, Hanumanta, and he is all leader also. He leads such a devotee towards liberation, towards Krishna consciousness, towards enlightenment, towards freedom from this birth, death, old age and disease. That the Paramatma as a Chaitya Guru will lead the devotees. And the devotees in their life, what happens is also again, Kala will do its job and Krishna is like a snake charmer. Kala is like a snake. Krishna is like a Kala Sarpa, they say Kala Sarpa. Kala is like a snake. Krishna is like the snake charmer. The only person who can change Kala's direction is Krishna Paramatma, Super Soul, who is a snake charmer. Because it is his snake, Kala. It is his expansion. So Krishna can change the destiny of the devotees. Krishna can change the destiny of the world. Kala has his pattern, but Krishna can change the destiny. Just like in Kali Yuga, it is considered that Kali Yuga, religion will degrade. Human life will degrade. It is predicted. That is the nature of Kali Yuga. But what is that? That is the direction of Kala. Now in the midst of that, Krishna decides, okay, he comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he creates a golden period. So this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this Krishna consciousness movement is not part of Kala, it is part of the causeless mercy of the Supreme Lord. The Lord has come down as Avatara and he has spread the holy name of the Lord, gifted this world this Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The effects of Kali can be countered easily. So all these multiple forces that are working, we need to understand from the point of view of Krishna consciousness. In our devotees' life also, now I was telling about the golden period and Krishna consciousness movement, all those things as the will of the Lord. In each of our devotees, our individual life also, our karma, Gunakala karma is acting, and then Guru Krishna is also directing, or when we surrender to the spiritual master, we surrender ourselves, surrender our life, which means our karma is managed by Guru. What? Karma is still acting, Kala is still acting. But when it acts, it is turned into devotional service by the expert arrangement of the spiritual master combined with the Chaitya Guru. Lord is in the heart, combined with the God, Lord, who is externally appeared as a spiritual master. By their combination, our Gunakala karma forces are directed towards the pleasure of the Lord, devotional service. So we act free from reactions in this material world. Otherwise, every act that we do is a fruitive activity. You have to bear the fruit of it. Devotional service means my activity's fruit is for Krishna. We also work for the fruit, but the fruit is for Krishna. So will of providence always overrules the will of the living entities. This brings a kind of satisfaction to the devotee, because normally speaking, when you look at the material world, atheistic material world, by their association, it gives a feeling that there is no God, there is no control. World will run the way we want. They think like that. But the devotee should understand the bigger picture. The person who is talking that, he has no control over his life. He has no control over his death. Scientists are looking and they have gone so deep into the cosmos, so deep into the microcosm, and yet they cannot think of why they are growing old, why they have to die. Death is, they can't even scratch the surface of death. They go so deep into the cosmology. They go so deep into the atoms. But they don't spare 2 minutes to understand death. Why? Because it is such a mystery, you can't even start finding it out. If you start a subject, I start and I get blocked. Okay, I don't know further. But here, basic, everything about it is mysterious. Where will the scientist start from? Suddenly fall dead. What is this? Only one statement they say, that machine has stopped working. The machine has stopped working, like Prabhupada challenges them. The same machine is there. We're going to do some repair. And suddenly the dead person can get up. So entire material cosmos is controlled by the Supreme Lord, and according to Bhagavata philosophy, one who understands this Bhagavata philosophy, Achintya Veda Veda Tattva, he sees this entire material world as directly and indirectly a Leela of the Lord. Creation of the material world is a kind of a relationship of the Lord with the jivas who want independence. So respecting their independence, He has brought forth this material world. And it's Krishna's potencies are inconceivable, infinite, unlimited. With our tiny intellect, we cannot measure. We cannot even philosophize, create a philosophy. Because so many intellectuals have created so many philosophies. But the moment you accept there is an infinite person, your philosophy breaks. Because by definition you are saying he is ununderstandable, he is infinite. And that is the position of the devotee. Devotee doesn't think that I can understand everything. Even small things he cannot understand. What to speak of God? This understanding has to come by the mercy of the Supreme Lord through Guru Parampara. And receive this knowledge through the spiritual master, and we enjoy the fruits of this transcendental knowledge, transcendental life, all the transcendental mysteries, secrets. Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the biggest secret on earth. Biggest secret. The presence of the deities in temples is another biggest secret. Why we say secret? Because something is there in it which you cannot see. Only devotees can see that secret. Hare Krishna Mahamantra, ordinary people cannot see. Devotees can see what the karmis don't see. In the Archa Vigraha, devotees can see what the karmis cannot see. In the Prasadam, devotees can see what the non-devotees cannot see. In the Vaishnavas, devotees can see what the non-devotees cannot see. What we see in Prabhupada, the karmis cannot see in Prabhupada. So therefore Prabhupada is a secret. Secret available to those who have got Shraddha. All the secrets are available. Nama, Rupa, Leela, all the Dham, all these things are available. And how do we get these secrets? Not by analyzing and by discovering by logic and all that. We get this by association through descending process. Because you have that Shraddha in the authority of Prabhupada, you have got Shraddha in his authority, his way of, because this is called parampara, that everything that he says, we have got Shraddha. When he says the holy name is Krishna himself, yes, with that, because of that Shraddha, we get that secret. Holy name is, or prasadam is Krishna himself. We get that secret when we have Shraddha. And it is not that actually there is something beyond ordinary vibration. In the chanting of the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. How this Shabda can be non-different from Krishna? Somebody can raise this question by the simple logic that with my tongue I am generating this sound. That means how this sound is Krishna. That means I am creating Krishna. Holy name is non-different from Krishna. Holy name is non-different from the Lord himself. His name is non-different from the Lord himself. And the name I am able to generate with my tongue. Actually, one person asked this question to me. You are non-different from Krishna. If you are non-different from Krishna, how you are, that means you are generating your Krishna. That means you are creating Krishna. Whenever you want, you are creating Krishna. And when you don't chant, you have destroyed him. That means your Krishna has a beginning and an end. That means you create a God and you make him vanish also. Then how is he eternal? How is he eternal? So all these things we can understand only by hearing from the higher source. Krishna manifest and unmanifest. He is eternally there. He is a transcendental vibration. Krishna Nama is a transcendental vibration. What I generate with my tongue is a vibration made out of matter. Just like the deities, they made of marble. Marble is of this material energy. Now into that the Lord takes an identical form and enters. And then that marble also is no longer ordinary marble, fully spiritualized marble. But the marble itself is not alone God. The Supreme Lord, original Lord, who takes a form similar to this marble and he is residing inside. This is secret. Because that you cannot see. You have to hear by Shraddha. Marble you can see with your eyes. Similarly, the sound that you generate, you can hear. But within that there is a transcendental sound. That transcendental sound, if we have to hear, we need to have transcendental senses. Now, even if you don't have transcendental senses, you don't hear. Lord has mercifully decided that if you hear this sound with your tongue, it is as good as touching me. Because we don't have transcendental eyes to see the deity. Therefore, Krishna comes into the deity and he says, with your ordinary eyes you look at me and talk to me. And I am residing within, I will receive that talk. I will receive your prayers. So, Bhakti Yoga is a very mystical yoga. All Bhakti Yogis are the biggest mystics. Because continuously they are dealing with things you cannot see and hear. Prasadam has got simultaneously a taste for the tongue and also it has got a spiritual taste also. There is a parallel spiritual taste also. Advanced devotees, they can taste the spiritual taste. That doesn't mean the taste that we get from prasadam is material taste. It is spiritualized taste. Please remember that. Just because we say that transcendental Satchidananda Vigraha of the Lord is different from matter doesn't mean that this marble is ordinary marble. No. Doesn't mean that even though with my material tongue I generate Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is not ordinary sound. Because this is spiritualized sound. Because the Lord Himself is seated in His Nama. Shuddha Nama is also there. And from Him, just like sun and sunlight, similarly, if Shuddha Nama is there, all the Shakti, Nam Nama Kari Bauddha Nija Sarva Shakti enters where? Into the materially generated vibration. Similarly, all the spiritual Shaktis enters the external Vigraha of the deity. So, external Vigraha is not ordinary. You should not think, oh, ये तो पत्थर है, इसके अंदर भगवान है. फैक्ट है, पत्थर है, इसके अंदर भगवान है. भगवान अंदर है, इसलिए ये पत्थर नहीं है अभी. ये भगवान का डायरेक्ट एनर्जी है. His own personal, His own consciousness. Wherever I go, I take my consciousness, isn't it? My awareness. So Bhagavan has come into that. His consciousness energy has pervaded into the marble and matter is converted into spirit. Therefore, the devotee understands all these technicalities and he does not differentiate between the material body of the deity and the deity. The devotee does not differentiate between the vibration that he creates with his tongue and the spiritual vibration. Why? Because the Lord, He is omnipotent. उन्होंने बता दिया है. क्या बता दिया है? Your drishti is limited to your material eyes. Your hearing is limited to your material hearing. Your speaking is limited to material speaking. So I have decided to make your material speaking into spiritual. I have decided to make your drishti into spiritual. Though you don't have spiritual drishti, you will get the same benefit of spiritual drishti by looking at the deity. By hearing the Hare Krishna that you generate, you are actually touching me. That happens. That is why all avatars are considered to be an aspect of Lord's karunya, unlimited mercy. So when we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we should know that this Nama is Krishna Himself because of His mercy. Otherwise, how can a material sound vibration be Krishna Himself? He makes it as good as Himself. And the material sound, the materially generated sound with your tongue, according to the devotion of the spirit that generates that sound, the Lord manifests in that sound. And one can experience the kripa of the Lord by such association, by association of service, of chanting and hearing. So, anyway, basically the whole idea is that a devotee sees this material world has no difference from spiritual world, because it is Lord's energy. But he sees it is working in a different way to bewilder the living entity. Like it said here, Vibramshita Jnanaha, to put us all in self-forgetfulness. Who we are, we have forgotten. The Yadus also, because of intoxication, they have forgotten who they are. That way, if you say we are constantly, you say no intoxication, no meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling, right? Intoxication is a substance that you take and brain gets, forgetfulness. All your worries go away. Though you drink in the night, you won't drink, you forget all the worries. Worries remain outside, doesn't change. But you think that no more worries, so you sleep well. So take little and sleep well. Standard. Now, entire material world, everybody is under intoxication. Not this intoxication. Everybody is under the intoxication of hope for pleasure in the material world. That is the intoxication. Therefore, hope ke pech hope, hope after hope after hope. Whole life is running on hope. Whole life is running on hope. No fulfillment. There is only hope for pleasure, there is no fulfillment of pleasure. The fulfillment of pleasure is also, suppose somebody is making you hope, and then you are thinking, just like I see a nice, you create a nice beautiful picture of a very mouth-watering gulab jamun. As far as looks are concerned, it 100% like original gulab jamun. 3-dimensional. So, you hope for it. Uske piche, bhagte. So then you run after it like that. You are running after an image. But that image will play with you, so that it will tease you. Immediately haath mein nahi milega. Kala, guna kala karma will tease you. What they are teasing you? They are teasing you about an image only, not real stuff. And then finally, at one point in time, that image it will give you in your hand. Mil gaya. Actually, रसगुल्ला नहीं मिला, उसका एक पिक्चर मिला. अच्छा ठीक है, तो पूरा दुनिया में रियल गुलाब जामुन इज नॉट देयर एट ऑल. जिधर भी है ओनली पिक्चर ही है. सो सब ब्रेन वॉश हो जाता है, सोचता है कि गुलाब जामुन मीन्स पिक्चर ऑफ गुलाब जामुन. Similarly, in the material world, we are all after rasa. Actually, that rasa is duplicate rasa. It is not original rasa. All rasas are chemically generated in the mind. As scientists have also found out, every rasa means every feeling, has connection with the chemical. So what is it? Are we enjoying life or are we enjoying chemicals? So we are in chemically induced illusion we are experiencing. Beautiful creation of the Lord. Paramatma is seated in the heart, therefore that chemicals are able to create this effect. Otherwise, how can chemical create a rasa effect? Because rasa is enjoyed by jivas, by spirit. Because of the Paramatma. He is seated and he makes it appear that it is real. So therefore Prabhupada says, in the material world there is nothing that is pleasurable. So what you are feeling pleasure is simply a sense of mil gaya. That is called lauding pleasure. What is lauding? I want something, I want to get it. When you get it, lauding is fulfilled. If you don't get it, you are still chasing it. I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it. So this whole only rasa that is true in this material world is the lauding rasa. There is no actual sense rasa, sense object rasa in this material world, which is that of an image. There is no real male, female in this material world. There are images of male and female, Chinmaya male and Chinmaya female. Everything in the spiritual world is Chinmaya Vastu. So Jada Vastus, what is made out of Jada Vastu, is an image. Just like you can create an image of a gulab jamun on a paper. Now, material world is created an image of the spiritual world in Panchabhuta. And then entire living entities are bewildered, which is not their nature. Being in this material world is not their nature.